now listening to the Pootcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pootcast. Today we have a very special guest, Chris Johnson. Welcome.
That's me.
Yeah. So, who are you? And what do you do?
My name's Chris Johnson. I own Passion Board Shop. I'm also the host of the Passion Pod and a father, world traveler, skateboarder, scuba diver, husband. I do shit.
Skydiver.
I have gone skydiving, yeah. I've done a lot of stuff. But I'm a lot older than you guys.
You're fucking cool.
Thank you.
Just gotta put that out there.
I'm like more than a decade out of high school, and now I'm finally cool. Sick.
Yeah, so, like you said, owner of Passion Board Shop. You've been doing it for 5.5 years.
Yep, April 11th, 2014 was opening day.
Yep. I've been going there since, not day one, but
Pretty close.
Pretty
sometime
early.
that first year, I think.
Yeah, I definitely started going there the first year.
I've never been there.
You gotta stop by.
Probably should.
I haven't been there either.
I know. Well,
should.
my dad goes there, or my brother, but
Yeah, well, you guys should go there.
I've never been.
Where is this?
It's downtown.
It's on
Downtown?
218th and a half Dewey Street.
Yeah, 218
Dewey
North Dewey
Street.
Street. It's right behind the
On-
Oxbow.
Why did I say half?
Across the street
and it's
from-
across the street from the Vocal store.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Yeah.
At
check
least
that out.
I
sometime.
knew where it was.
I sell stuff other than skateboards. You don't have to skateboard to come there.
Yeah, he sells merch.
Yeah, there's like stickers and sunglasses, clothes,
It's pretty cool
whatever.
stuff.
There's lots of stuff.
I'll check it out sometime.
You
Probably
should.
Maybe even
Let's
this
go.
week.
Let's go.
All right.
I feel like you have to now that I
You
drove.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
me being the only one who's been there.
Well, it's not like I don't want to go there. It's
Yeah.
just I've never I don't really hang out downtown a lot.
Downtown's where all the cool people hang out, especially that zone, like Barstow
Yeah.
Street and stuff. It's where all the cool businesses in town are. So
That is
Yeah.
true. Downtown has been booming.
yeah, it's way better. Volume
Yeah.
1 like changed the whole culture of downtown. When I
Mhm.
was growing
Yeah.
up, that whole area was awful.
Yeah.
That was when like Oakwood Mall had first opened and stuff, and it was like really big, and all of downtown was pretty much dead. Like
Yeah.
it was a great skate zone because half the businesses were closed.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's super trendy and there's lots of cool stuff.
Everything is just popping off downtown. It's good. It's getting Eau Claire downtown.
Yeah, Eau Claire's
area.
blown up. It was in Time Magazine a couple years
Mhm.
ago as like
Yeah.
top 50 places to visit or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
now Oakwood Mall's not doing too well. It's kind of
No.
switched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean malls in general.
Mm.
You know, they're kind of like losing their
Ow.
purpose.
Yeah.
They're kind of on their downfall right now.
It's
So you can
so
shop
sad.
online.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Well, I
malls
mean-
in general were like a hangout place. And before social media and before people had cell phones, you just went to the mall and walked around and shopped. But like that's where you met up and hung out with people. And that demographic has changed since the internet because now you just text people or Snapchat them or whatever,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, media you use. And now you don't need a place like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well as obviously e-commerce. Like there's always going to be more options for everything online anyways than there ever would be at a mall. The only reason
Mhm.
people shop at a local or any store for that matter is because they want something that day or they want specialized help for something. And the mall doesn't really offer that.
Mm.
My mall kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not very fun to go to.
I haven't
anymore.
been there in a long time.
We're just straight dissing Oakwood Mall.
I mean, like, it's just been like on a downfall, really, with the.
Did you guys see the
Well-
Rick McCrank show that he had on Vice?
No.
Mhm.
Rick McCrank's a pro skateboarder for Girl, and he has his own shop, that Antisocial Social Club. Definitely ripped their name off of from. It's a shop up in Canada called Antisocial,
Mhm.
and it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But anyways, he had his own show on Vice, and it was all about malls. But it was empty malls, and they would like he went there and got permission to skate inside of them.
That's.
But it
sick.
was like a documentary type
Yeah.
series where it showed like the downfall of it within the community and why that happened or whatever. And then it would show like a little bit of skating inside the empty mall, which was kind of tight.
That is sick.
It's
Kind of that's a interesting documentary. Kind of a weird mix of things. I've seen some about closed down malls, but yeah, there's
with skateboarding.
not mixed with skateboarding. Yeah, that's where it gets a little weird.
Yeah,
it's
plus
kinda
it's on
cool.
Vice, and everything on Vice is like a different way of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Vice
Mhm.
is like it's cool, and they have like a very wide variety of like different documentaries and like more in-depth things. And
Yeah, I
it's
wish I
just-
remember the name of the show. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's called, but if you look up Rick McCrank Vice, I'm sure it'll pop up right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The name Passion Board Shop. Where'd that come from?
Struggling to think of any name is the only reason.
Oh.
Really? Yeah. Sitting down, it's hard. People are going to define you by that, whatever name you come up with for like ever.
Yeah.
And if you blow it on the name, like it kind of messes up your whole business from the get-go. And really, that's like the only thing I could think of. I tried to like think of other stuff and nothing seemed right. And I came up with that one. And honestly, like I was trying to cool guy it. Like I was like, dude, I don't think I can use this. This is like pretty corny. Yeah. I don't know. And my wife laughed about it too. And I told her, she's like, I don't know if you should use that. And I was like, whatever. I have nothing better right now. So like that's going to be the temporary name until I think of something better. And I never thought of something better. And now it seems like people really like it.
It has a lot more meaning now. I feel like because following your passion. Yeah. Like you've been doing this for 5.5 years. Obviously, it's working out.
Yeah, and honestly, like I spent one day in the back of Thrasher. Like every Thrasher mag, it lists all the like core shops, and my shop's listed in there. Yeah. And one day I wanted to just look through and like compare my name to the rest of the names. Mm-hmm. And my name is better than like 75% of them. Like there's a lot of pretty weak names for skate shops, unfortunately. There's some really good ones, but there's some trash ones for sure.
Well, it's good that you got the name.
Yeah, it made me feel better about it afterwards. I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought. It's all good.
Like at first it was like really passion, like
people make those like pun jokes constantly in the store, and it's like, I know, I get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of when we were trying to think of a name for the podcast, or like what should we call it, and then we just stuck with the Pootcast because of him, because he was the one who started it or wanted to start it, and so it's more.
He's Poot.
He's the Poot.
Is that like a nickname you go by or something?
Someone branded me with that quite a while ago, and I just was like, all right.
Gotcha. So I didn't know where that came from either.
I talked about it in the episode 0, but
I don't remember. I listened through like part of that one or something. Yeah. I don't remember everything about it. I listened to the other one you sent me though.
Yeah, the
Gulag Bear or something.
Bear.
Right? Yeah. Is that what it was?
Yeah, with Matt Johnson.
Yeah, that podcast I expected to do better, but I don't think people really, because that was such big news.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like not a lot of people knew about it, because I was talking to Chris about it, and he was saying like, oh, I didn't really hear about it.
I guess it was kind of a YouTube thing.
Yeah,
like a very specific YouTube thing, but
So, you and Amy's dad, have been talking, and he told her brother about my skateboarding incident, because I'm guessing you and him talked about that.
Why do you guys talk about us? He's always coming up to me with little facts, and I'm like, where did you hear that one?
One, it's just like, oh, that's cool that Chris is talking about me. Like,
it was meant as an endearing thing. Oh. When I was talking to him, I said that I agree to be on this podcast, and I was like, yeah, Marty's been coming around the shop since like the beginning, so like if he's gonna ask a favor of me, I'm down. I was like, plus that dude's like dedicated as shit. He's way gnarlier than me. And he was like, oh yeah. And then I told the story without thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I would have quit skateboarding after that.
That's
like if I was in that position,
he's like, I would never touch a skateboard.
That's what I'm
again.
saying. I'm like, you're
like, I've stepped foot on a skateboard after that, and like I got my skateboard in my car. Like I always have it in my trunk.
You're a badass, dude. That's when I do tell the story to people, and they usually when I tell that story, they obviously don't know who you are anyways. But when I tell it every time, I'm like, dude, that kid is so much more badass than me.
I don't know about that, but
have we talked about that on the podcast before?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. What episode was that? Do you remember?
The Halloween one.
Yeah, the Halloween episode. I told the story. That was
in-depth.
I did tell an in-depth story. So, but yeah, I don't know. Because then her brother asked me about it, and I was like, yeah, this is what happened. He was like, oh, ouch.
And just walked away.
And then he walked away. That was weird.
You want to give like a rundown so that they don't have to watch the podcast, so that they know what we're talking about?
So I was at school. I was trying to do a kickflip. Board popped up, landed in between my legs. Right on my dick. I thought I pissed myself from like the pressure, And then I put my hand in my pants, pulled it out. It was all bloody. Went to the bathroom. I was just pissing blood. Yeah. That's pretty much the story summed up.
Brutal.
Yeah. I mean, I had a pretty fast recovery, I guess. Like, I had a catheter in for a while, I guess. But it was over, like, a break. Like, we had, like, this weird break at school. So I only missed, like, a few days of school, which was okay. Like, I missed, like, maybe 4 or 5 days. But I was out for, like, 10. So I just remember sitting in the chair in my living room, and the whole squad came and visited me.
Nice friends, man.
Yeah. Me sitting there in some, I think I was wearing some scrubs or some pajama pants with just a tube down my leg and a bag of piss.
I got a vasectomy not that long ago. And
Oh, yeah.
I was laying on the couch all weekend with like bags of frozen peas on my balls. And one of my homies hit me up. He's like, dude, I'm trying to come kick it. I got to take care of my bro. I'm like,
Okay.
all right, man. So he showed up
Appreciate
at the
it.
house and he was just like, whatever you need, I got you. I'm like, tight. So I just sat on the couch and he like went and got me beers periodically, like served me all my food, sat there and worked on some paintings and stuff. It was tight for like that section of it. But
And then he left, and I was
yeah.
You're like,
No, it wasn't that bad though.
no. No more kids for Chris. Two's
Nope,
enough.
2. I only ever wanted 2. So
Yeah.
planned both kids. Now I'm done.
Is that Lily and Luna?
Yeah. 6 and 3.
Mm-hmm. Every time I ask Lily if she knows me, she has no clue who I am.
Yeah. I mean, she meets a lot of people.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. It's just weird because I've known her since she was like a baby. Same with
Yeah.
Luna. Like when you told me that Luna was 3, I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, yeah. I mean, all of you guys turning 18 is wild to me. So,
Literally 7 days until I'm 18.
yeah.
Like
that's-
next week.
You guys are like right in between my kid's age and my age.
Yeah.
So it's really weird, like you guys becoming adults. It's odd for sure.
Yeah. Definitely is. But it's crazy. Do you guys have questions for Chris?
yeah. What made you want to open your own business? Were you just like bored one day?
No,
Oh.
come on. It's a lot of work to
Well,
open
not
a
like
business.
that,
You'll get
but like, were
bored.
you just bored and you were like,
No.
maybe I should, and then
No, there's like a whole spiel to it, which I guess I can summarize. But
You got time.
basically, I always went through like sales. I've been in sales since I was like 16. And my last couple of jobs, I was the assistant manager of Hellsberg Diamonds, as well as the assistant manager at Verizon Wireless. And my parents always kind of like preach success a bit. You know, they both had college degrees and all that type of stuff. And they had always talked about like the next stage of life. Like they were always looking forward to the next thing. And the next thing for them was retiring, you know, and like traveling and all that type of stuff. And then this was my first year of marriage. My mom left my dad, like they got in a big argument or whatever, and she walked out on him on like Thanksgiving after I
Oh.
came to visit.
Mm.
And that weekend, my dad was talking to my sister on the cell phone because she was living in Chicago, and he had a heart attack, like a super nasty one. And she
Yeah.
was on the phone with him when he like fell down the stairs and everything.
Oh.
Yeah, and then so she called the ambulance because she didn't know what the hell was going on. Called me. I was working in the cities at the time, and I just went on my break from I was working at K Jewelers at that point. But anyways, answer my phone, and she's like, "Dude, like, I think Dad just collapsed. I don't know what's going on. You know, whatever. You need to get there." So drove back to Eau Claire, and he like want to say he wasn't breathing for I don't even know. They were doing compressions for 45 minutes though.
Jeez.
Broke all of his ribs and stuff. Like it was pretty brutal. And then he was on a balloon pump for like 2 weeks. And my mom never came back to him.
Mm.
My sister lived in Chicago, so it was like just me who's kind of there, you know?
Yeah.
So I moved back to try to take care of him. Eventually he got up, you know, and
Yeah.
is now all of a sudden alone. And I took care of him for a little bit, and then he had another heart attack when I was talking to him in our living room.
Mm-hmm.
And then, long story short, he ended up going to Minneapolis to Abbott Northwestern Hospital for
Yeah.
like 9 weeks in the ICU getting a heart transplant.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then it was kind of through that whole time frame, I guess, that I like reevaluated what was important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it like, you know, if I were to die, what would like my kid, you know, what would she think about me basically? And I was like, man, I don't think I'm that proud of anything that I've accomplished at this point in my life. Not that I like didn't make money or like did anything I regretted, but I wasn't really proud of anything.
Yeah, like you hadn't made any big accomplishments.
Yeah, I wouldn't be satisfied with my life if I died, basically. And it just kind of taught me, like, you can't live for the next stage of your life because that may not be there. Things totally change, whether you die or with my parents, like getting divorced now financially, neither of them were in the same type of position.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of changes things. Things can be taken away. So I try to live by the model of plan for tomorrow, but definitely live for today. And it was through that whole time frame that it was like, okay, I got to do something that I really care about doing. And the conversation came up with my wife because I'd always wanted to open a skate shop since I was 14, hanging out at a skate shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of the conversation of like, well, if we're going to do it, we kind of got to do it now because like we already have one kid. We can't really like afford to take this type of leap later on in life.
Yeah. Damn.
That's crazy.
That's
That's not what I
very deep answer. I liked that. That was good.
So what was the process of making the business, like when you decided you wanted to?
I guess first thing, man, there's so much to it. It's hard to like summarize it. I mean, obviously, like you may have to make that decision and commitment in your own mind.
Yeah.
So like did that. Then you have to look at, and in no like real particular order, I guess, you got to look at where your location's going to be, and you have to start looking at all the numbers and stuff. So I looked at a bunch of different locations to come up with what my overhead would be. You know, what's rent going to be at this type of place, eating, and you know, your internet costs, all these types of things. And you look at whatever that dollar amount is, and you have to say, okay, well, I have to make at least that just to break even on the business. But realistically, I also have to make an income, so I have to make X amount over that. Then you have to, like, I called up some skateboard suppliers to figure out what wholesale costs were of, say, like skateboards and trucks and wheels and all that type of stuff. And I could then do the math based on that to say, okay, I need to sell X number of skateboards per month realistically to live, you know, and that dictated what kind of like location I would be willing to sign a lease on, because I didn't want to have 3 times as much overhead at one location versus a different one, even if it's in a better spot. Like I looked at places on Water Street and it was a lot more expensive and it just wasn't really feasible at that point in time. So I did that. I also worked, I mean, I was making a lot of money at Verizon. And then I also worked a 12-hour day on one of my days off at Hellsberg Diamonds and was like saved up all that money and kind of paid for inventory. And while I was doing it, got my federal tax ID number and my seller's permit and all that stuff. I got in my space in January. So I had a few months to paint it, and like I had to track down display cases and, you know, sign up like with Square and stuff and get like a register situation done and apply. You had to fill out like dealer applications for all the different people that you want to like sell products through, you know. It's not like you just text Baker and say, hey, send me boards. You know, it's a whole process for that type of stuff. And then you got to market it and contact, you know, the newspapers and all that, those types of things. So that way they know when you're opening and hopefully have like a successful launch.
Yeah. But, which your location, honestly, such a good one.
It is now.
Yeah. But like, because like looking back at it, when you first like started, it was not the best location because of the situation with downtown and like just the scene and everything. But since it's just been picking up steam, you have like a prime location just right downtown for the skateboard shop. Yeah,
I got my own parking lot right off the bike path and stuff. And you know, the Oxbow, the Lakely, that hotel was the worst hotel in town before. Like when I was there, it was just trash.
It was so bad.
Yeah. And Becca, like Reds, my next door neighbor, she wasn't open yet. GOM Studios wasn't open yet. The only place there was, you know, Volume 1, which
was very low key.
It was different at that point in time. The local store was still a thing, but not like it is now, you know. It
was a very low key thing.
Yeah, and Ramones wasn't there. I mean, that whole side of the river outside of Phoenix Park wasn't.
Well, because there's that big building that they tore down, like just down the hill.
Yeah, that was pretty recent though.
Yeah, well, but that was just an empty building for such a long time. It had
been, dude. We used to skate that spot when I was a kid. Like it's always been empty.
Yeah, but just now, it's a good location.
Yeah, I mean, stuck with it long enough, and now the only reason I would move is for like more space.
More space.
Yeah.
But. Oh, you got a good sized shop.
I always forget that. I feel like it's small because in the Midwest, our square footage is like huge,
Mhm.
you know, for the dollar or whatever. And then I visit other shops, you know, and like I visited one in Tokyo.
Mhm.
That's like their longest running one. It's called Hash Dogs. I think it's in Harajuku or Shibuya or something. I forget. But anyways, that shop, like super long running, really well respected. And it's like a third of the size of mine, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is crazy.
yeah.
And like you have a basement storage area.
Yeah, I mean, I have
attic.
plenty of space. If I
Yeah.
wanted to, like, if I really wanted to expand, I could make the whole attic like
Yeah.
shoppable as well. I just don't really want to.
I mean, you could just like store merch up there too.
Mm.
Like have extra storage, which is really what you use it for, kind of.
Yeah, I want to do that a little bit, but I want to expand more into the parking lot.
Yeah.
And have stuff that, like, you know, canopies or something that maybe I can
Yeah.
have permanently attached to the building, so that way I can have
That'd be
merchandise outside more frequently.
Especially during the summer.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mhm. That would be one good way to get business, because people would be coming by and seeing like all this clothing and stuff just
Yeah.
outside. It's like, oh shit, should stop by.
Well,
see what's happening.
Yeah,
see
a
what's
big
happening.
part is looking at, like, dude, so many people shop at like Zoomies that don't skate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why people think they can't go to a skateboard shop if they don't skate.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to support a local business?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cool guy you and make you feel weird about like being there.
It's like, oh, you don't skate? Well, you shouldn't even be here then.
yeah, it's like, dude, come on now.
No,
exactly. Like, I'll
if you want to support me, then support me. Like, I'm
Exactly.
I'm gonna respect that.
truthfully, at my age, like, hardly any of my friends skate anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
I don't look
you guys-
down on people because they
Yeah.
like don't skate or
And
something.
you guys got families and
Yeah, just other
getting
stuff going
older
on.
and-
I mean, I still skate, obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't like base my thought, like, I don't look at somebody and judge them based on whether or not they skate. Like, that
Yeah.
doesn't determine how cool you are in my
Yeah.
mind.
so. No, I don't know. It's just annoying, I guess, that people are like, oh,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I would like people to be more aware of it.
yeah,
Like, if I had merchandise outside, all the people walking, you know, just to welcome them and show them, like, hey, you know, we have lots of cool stuff here.
yeah,
You don't
not
like,
just skateboards.
Yeah, don't be like, don't just look past us and go, oh, I don't skate, so I can't go there.
Yeah.
You know.
But now you got the Passion Pod. You
Yep.
got merch for that too. So that's not even like skateboard related. It's
Yeah, I had a
just-
guy come in the other day specifically to buy one of those hats that sold
Mhm.
out right away.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I mean, I stopped skating a long time ago, so I haven't been coming in because I don't want to buy skate like clothing. I don't want to be a poser. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
one, you're not, because you used to skate at one point in time, so it's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, but either way, like, now that you got pod merchandise, he's like, I'm down to wear that. I'm like, sick.
Yeah. The Passion Pod is doing good.
Yeah, really busy with it, man.
Yeah.
Only a few episodes that actually like released,
released.
but I've been done with, you know,
Well,
a
you
lot.
because you just said you just did episode 14.
Yeah. Well, I did a 10-episode season
Yeah.
and was done with that whole thing before like the first episode came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm done with 4 episodes of season 2. I record another one tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been going well. I mean, Instagram's popping off. The fact, you know, having you on the radio obviously helps.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of guests that it's been pretty cool to have, especially ones like that haven't been, you know, out yet.
Mhm.
Some of the other episodes are going to be pretty big, so I'm excited
Yeah.
about that. I'm about to travel and do a bunch of episodes. So
That'll be lit.
yeah, I don't think there's going to be a huge break between season 1 and 2 at this point. I was thinking it was
Hopefully
going to
not.
be a couple months at least, but
Yeah.
probably not very long.
Well, because you're closing the shop in a week or so
Yeah.
after Christmas.
Yeah,
to-
yeah, not permanently, obviously,
Well,
but
yeah.
seasonally.
yeah.
I'm gonna be
For the
traveling.
winter.
I'm going to California. I'm gonna do some episodes up there, and then I'm going to Peru, and then I'm going to
Ooh.
Florida. So it's
Busy
gonna be
man.
yeah. So it's gonna be closed from January and February,
Yeah.
just because it's hard to like find people to trust that if I'm all the way like in Peru to take care of my business. Like, it's not that there aren't people that are willing to hang out at the shop, but
Like if you're just gonna be gone for like a day or two,
yeah,
then
that's one
that's
thing.
different.
Yeah,
But you're gonna be out of the country
right,
or out of the state even
right.
for over a month.
Yeah, so
So-
like some of the homies, you know, like the shop riders and employees and stuff, they have keys. So if they need something, it's not like people
Yeah.
couldn't potentially go there or whatever and get some
Yeah.
things. I don't sell hardly anything in January and February anyways,
Yeah.
so it
It's
doesn't.
very
Yeah, and the next door neighbor, like, who lives across the street, I'm really good friends with her, so she's gonna
Yeah.
be watering my plants and like obviously
nice.
watching it. And there's plenty of security and shit.
Yeah.
I got 24-hour live feeds, and so the shop will be fine. I'm
Yeah.
not super worried about it.
no more breaking and entries.
I mean, anytime it gets brought up, it's like, well, I did catch the person and prosecute them both times.
Both times.
It's just that
And-
person broke into 15 houses in one night around town as well. So you're not going to get away with it if you break into my store, but
Yeah.
there's like nothing. I can't stop somebody from doing it.
Yeah.
All I can do is persecute them for doing it in the first
Yeah.
place. Plus, honestly, like if you're going to break into a store, dude, there's not anything worth money in my store. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to steal?
A board.
Yeah, and then what? Resell it to who? Like nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna steal from my store, the only reason you would is if you actually want like the merchandise for yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
But then everyone's gonna know that you stole it because
Yeah,
I
it's
definitely
like-
know it was
it's like,
stolen.
I didn't sell that to you.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think I'm like a prime target to be robbed, but that's just part of business. Like you gotta know that shitty things happen every once in a while. It is what it is.
Yeah. Did you guys not know about that?
No, I was gonna
So
ask about it.
this one dude, not gonna name names, but he decided to he went in through like the bathroom window.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to spend a whole lot of time talking
Yeah.
about it, but this kid broke into my store because his like mom had told him he couldn't come to the store because he had stolen money from her or something. So it wasn't something that I even did in the first place. But he still wanted things from my store, so he broke in. Naturally, I caught him because I pay for security. I have ADT and all that shit.
Yeah.
So I caught him and confronted him, got the cops involved. He got arrested, went to like juvie type situation, ran away, broke in again, caught him again. But
Yeah.
he wasn't 17, so you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
he got arrested and prosecuted, but just doesn't really like do anything.
He
kind
just
of.
he just got
Right.
arrested again recently
Yeah.
for some dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just I personally think that people aren't just shitty out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think
Like there's a rhyme or reason for
yeah,
everything.
exactly. People aren't born that way. So there's unfortunate influences and stuff
Yeah.
around him, I think, that caused
Yeah.
situations like that to happen. And maybe in a few years he'll mature and come into the shop and apologize to me, and then
Yeah.
I'll just say, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, is what it is. I appreciate you being a man about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to harbor like a bunch of ill will towards stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, it happened.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't happen to me again.
Yeah.
It's the same way I'm sure you guys hope that no one ever breaks into your car or anything.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
But if it does, like, it's part of life.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's true. So you've traveled a lot.
Try to.
Well-
Yeah.
What's your favorite place that you've traveled to and why?
I think I like Japan the most.
Japan.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. Japan was sick, man. I mean, that was the first time that I left the country.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of is like special to me in that way. But I speak a bit of the language. The food's really good. There's like a
Fucking
lot
love
of
that.
different cultural like history and stuff
Mhm.
there. There's a lot of different, the environment is so different depending on where you are within the country.
Yeah.
Even though like it's a fairly small country, you can be up in the snowy mountains and stuff, or like right in the middle of Akihabara where it's
Yeah.
like every building's 20 stories.
Yeah.
There's just a lot to see and do. Japan's really cool, and it's really easy and convenient to get around most of the country.
Yeah. I definitely want to travel to Japan and other countries and Asia, Europe, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I've been to Asia twice and Europe twice so far.
Because you've been to where all have you been?
Internationally, I've been to Japan and Thailand on separate trips.
Yep.
And in Europe, I was in Scotland and England and Spain.
So this is like off topic, not really, but just changing topics, I guess.
Sure.
You go to this convention every year.
Yeah, I usually do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go this year.
You're not going to go this year?
This will be the first year in like a decade not going.
Oh.
It'll be my for my 30th birthday, which is right around that time frame. We're going to go to New York City instead and
That'll
check
be
it
fun.
out. Yeah.
Have you ever been to New York?
No.
Oh.
No, my wife's always wanted to go, and it was just kind of like, well, I should do something for my 30th.
Yeah.
So I brought it up, like, well,
Could go to New York.
yeah, we could go do something we've never done. You want to go to New
Yeah.
York? And she's like, yeah, I want to go to New York. I'm like, tight, let's go. So yeah,
But
it'd be cool.
last year you went and you like to dress up as, or you do like cosplays of just
Yeah, so we-
weird things that people wouldn't think about.
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing as like Halloween or something.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. So basically, like when I was 21, one of my friends invited me, and he's like, "Dude, we got to go to this anime convention in the cities. It's called Anime Detour. We got to go." And I'm like, "Man, I don't know. It's gonna be a bunch of like dudes dressed up as Sailor Moon or something. Like, this sounds kind of weak. I'm not really trying to do that." And he was like, "Dude, I promise you, it's not like that at all." And I'm like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "No, for real, it's so fun. If you don't like it, we'll just leave." But he's like, it's much more just like a Halloween party. It's sick. I was like, all right, cool, fine, we'll go. So we went, and yeah, dude, it was actually tight. Like just a bunch of nerds hanging out, you know. Did you have some random 40-year-old dudes dressed as Sailor Moon? Maybe a couple, but there's thousands of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More so, it was like a really welcoming Halloween party where like no one had to drive anywhere. Everybody was at the hotel. Thousands of people dressed up. Most of these people like were kind of nerd people growing up.
Yeah.
So like none of them are bullying people. Nobody's like broing out.
They're
Like
probably all friendly as shit.
that's what I'm saying. Everyone's
Such a nice-
super nice. And
I can imagine.
dude, it's kind of fun. Like everyone was just like drinking and walking around like the hotel, you know? And so back then, especially around the center area of the hotel where the pool was and everything, all the rooms that faced that were dedicated to be party rooms per convention rules.
That's sick.
So in order to like rent that room, you had to have it open to everybody else in the convention for at least 6 hours a day, 2 of the 3 days, serving either food or liquor, and most people served liquor. So you just like go from room to room, and all these people take it really seriously. You know what I mean? Like they'd have a Smash Brothers room where everybody's like dressed up as Smash Brothers characters and like playing it and serving shots that are based on whatever that is. And another one they always did was like Lord of the Rings kind of like stuff, and they always like kept character. And so you're walking around basically like a really epic Halloween party, like drinking and going, oh my God, there's Link, there's, you know, more obscure characters a lot of times, but there's all these characters from all these video games and shows and stuff you've seen growing up. And I think, I mean, it's finally at this year of like, we've been doing this for such a long time that not that I'm too old for it, but like I am getting older.
You got other things to do.
Yeah, I'm like, dude.
What was the first thing that you
to
dressed up as the first year?
Man, I don't. Oh yeah. Okay, so in all of the Pokemon games, like the handheld games, there's always this is a whole story with Pokemon. But anyways, I used to play that a lot growing up, right? Because the first game came out in 96 when I was 6 years old. So like I grew up with it pretty heavily. But anyway, so there's different
Peyton
like
looks happy.
types. There's different types of trainers that like are consistent through every game. And there's youngsters in every game, like the beginning of the game,
Yes.
right?
Mr. Joey,
Yeah, youngster Joey. So, but Joey talks about his Rattata, but there's always one in all the games, or there was, that would mention something about shorts. It was for whatever reason, you know, he said, I like shorts because they're comfy, easy to wear or whatever. In a later one, you were like, you didn't see a shorts kid until it was like way later in the game and you're in a snowy area and he goes, I like shorts even in the winter. And you're like, damn it, there's another one. Like, it's still in this game. So me and my friend both went as shorts kids. So we both dressed up as youngsters and had signs that like one side had the exclamation point and the other side had one of the sayings. So we could just like poke around like the side, like the corner of a hallway with the sign and be like, doo-doo-doo-doo. And then like run up to people. It was really funny. Well, and especially like as we got more drunk, it was like super awesome.
That's a very like
It's
niche
a very
cosplay
in the know thing,
Yeah.
Okay, so like I typically like to do that.
Well, yeah, because you went as a bush last year, didn't you?
This past Halloween, I was just a bush.
Yeah.
I like had a long sleeve shirt and a hat that I covered in fake foliage, and the shirt was big enough so I could like sit down and pull it over my knees so that way I just looked like a bush. You know, it was tight. I don't know.
And everyone loved it.
Yeah, I like dressing up as stuff that like people recognize, but they've never seen anyone do it before.
Like the pajama or the underwear.
Yeah, well, that was a video game, but yeah, I was the only one who did that. It's this character Vincent from Catherine. It's like it's a pretty famous Japanese game, but it's a video game that it's like almost like watching a show as well. But anyways, the game is like a puzzle game that like during the day it's like going through like the stuff that's going on with him or whatever, and at night he's having these nightmares and he has to like climb all these blocks to escape from this tower. It's like a nightmare he's having. But so yeah, it's basically like a puzzle game. You pull and push the blocks to be able to climb up, and it has to go a certain way or whatever.
Yeah.
But in it, he's wearing like, you know, red polka dot like boxers, and he's got horns, and he has a pillow and he's like running away. Like that's the whole game. That's what he looks like. So I dressed up as that at this convention, and people were stoked because everyone knew who it was. Like it was recognizable for sure.
But no one's ever seen someone do it.
Yeah,
before,
nobody else wanted to
even
just
though
wear
it's-
boxers and run around a hotel. So.
Such a like a easy
Yeah.
cosplay to do.
Yeah.
Just having
You gotta
red polka
be-
dot underwear.
You got to be confident enough,
Yeah,
to be willing to do that. So.
definitely. So, and for Halloween, your wife she spent
She spends a lot of money and time on her
lot-
costumes,
yeah.
which is funny because people always like talk about mine more than hers, and she's
Yeah.
always bummed about it. But yeah, she's really good at that, man. She's been sewing dresses and stuff for a decade.
I have not seen any of her costumes.
They're
I've seen yours though.
yeah. Well, you're too young to come to my Halloween party, so it's
Oh,
not like
yeah, I
you've seen
guess.
them,
Well, like
But-
I just haven't seen like pictures or anything.
Yeah, I
even.
don't think I really have any pictures of hers. I'll
Huh.
I'll look on my phone if I can find any. But
Okay.
she does really detailed stuff, and
Well,
it's
yeah,
like
that's
she
why I-
buys the fabric, does literally all of it.
That's why I want to see them because it's like
They're
I've
pretty
heard they're.
incredible.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
Just haven't seen them.
yeah. I don't know if I'll find any, but I'll try to. I'll look. Oh, here we go. Look at this one. This is the Hamburglar.
That's sick. That's really good. And she makes that too. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
And that was like
That's
definitely one of the
insane.
least detailed ones.
That was what 2 years
she
ago.
threw that one together. No, that was this past anime
Well-
detour that she did it.
Oh, that's right.
I went to Anime Con one time.
Which one
Really?
is that? The Eau Claire one?
Oh yeah, I went at the plaza. It
I've
was
nev-
awesome.
Was it a lot of fun?
It was so much fun.
Did you dress up as anything?
I didn't.
Oh.
I was in like 6th grade and I just like went. I didn't really think much of it, and then I was like, "This is actually dope." And then the plaza's not there anymore, so
Well, yeah, that one is like thrown by some of the same people, but it's obviously a way smaller convention
Yeah.
than like Minneapolis.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, look at this picture of this dude dressed as Roshi. Like, it's so fun just to walk around and see all these people like who take their cosplay so
Yeah.
seriously. Like I said, especially when you're. I mean, I'm not trying to talk about drinking a lot on the podcast, but when you are drinking, it's much more entertaining when you see people like that. You're
mean,
like,
you're-
what in the world?
You're of age, so it's all right.
Yeah. Yep. I'm 29. Not that young anymore.
Getting old.
Seems like it.
Me too.
When I
Me
watch
too.
like
Yeah.
football stuff and they're they talk about like this receiver signing a new contract or whatever, they definitely mention like their age, and when they say 29, they always word it as like he'll be turning 30 this date, like slowing down. I don't know if it's gonna be worth the veteran money or whatever, and I'm like, dude, shut up, come on, no, that's not that old.
Yeah. I mean, you're still kicking it.
yeah, dude, I'd still skate a
So-
lot and stuff.
Yeah. Which is good. Good to stay active.
yeah.
Keeps you young.
Yeah, trying to.
It's kind of hard with two
kids.
That's the
kids.
biggest part. Yeah, is
That, yeah.
I can't just go to the park for an hour whenever I feel like it. Like I
Yeah.
have to have a babysitter,
Mhm.
or I can't just like go for a run because like I can't leave my kids at the house by themselves. So it's
You can't just leave and go somewhere.
dude, and even if
'cause-
I'm trying to do push-ups or something in the house, like then the kids want to run over and sit on my back, and I'm like, dude, I'm not that strong. It's not gonna work.
Maybe one day. Have-
No, probably not.
Have both of them on your back, just doing.
Dude, I got a
push-ups.
bad shoulder. I had surgery on that a few years ago. Like I probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. You got a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
You do.
They're really sick too.
Thank
You get them all done at Wintership.
Yeah,
Or-
Keith Kors is done. I think I only have 2 tattoos that aren't done by him. He started tattooing me when I was 19 or
Yeah.
something.
I definitely want to go there
Yeah.
and get some tattoos because I just have this one, but I got it in Michigan. So.
Takes a long time to get as many tattoos as I have.
Oh yeah. I
Been
just
pretty consistently getting them
because
since I
your
was 18.
chest is very recent.
Yeah, that was
Or
a year. Yeah, last year, 2 years
well,
ago.
I remember when you first started getting it.
Yeah,
'cause-
chest tattoos suck.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, most recently was my right knee.
Yeah,
That's what I've been doing.
I saw that on one of the stories. Probably both of them.
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks sick. The fish.
Yeah, I got a diver helmet on my kneecap, and then a puffer fish on the inside of my knee, and a angelfish on
Ooh.
the outside of the knee.
Yeah, it's sick. I want to get a bunch of dope tattoos. I just need to figure out what and where.
Time, money, and pain,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I have very basic tattoos.
Yeah. I'll probably be getting a tattoo fairly soon.
I'm supposed to. We haven't booked it yet, though.
Yeah, I need to book mine. I should have booked mine.
Dude, make a goal for yourself where you can get a tattoo once you make enough money off the podcast to pay for one. It'll motivate you.
That'd be awesome.
That's a good plan.
That is.
With-
we all
with-
get tattoos.
We'll all do it.
I'd get Pootcast just tatted on me.
Yeah.
Or you could just get like a microphone or something. But you can get Pootcast if you want to.
Oh yeah, I guess that works too.
Get it as
I don't
like
know.
a tramp stamp.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll just get it on my
Microphone tramp
ass
Stamp.
No, Pootcast tramp stamp.
Pootcast tramp stamp. Okay.
with some just fancy calligraphy. Just. uh,
I'm not gnarly enough for that. I said before, you're gnarlier than me, so.
maybe. I want to get some sick ones though.
Me too.
It sounds like your parents are here. I heard your mom cough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What time are we at?
We are at 41 minutes.
Payne, do you want to get any tattoos? Because you don't have any yet.
I don't have anything. I don't have any ideas.
You don't really need an idea. You kind of
Yeah.
just
Just
come up
send
with
it.
one day.
Just go in and say, "Can you doodle something, please?" That's probably a good plan.
Honestly, I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Just go to some tattoo artist. be
Yeah,
like,
no, the guy that
I'll give
did
you $100
my
bucks. You pick what you tat on me. Just nothing.
Well, the guy who did my ankle did one on my dad, and my dad just let him pick it and do it.
That's
So
sick.
now he has a gorilla tattooed on.
That's kind of
A
sick.
gorilla.
It's like
Nice.
on his it's pretty cool.
I have a gorilla tattooed.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
On the inside of my leg.
Oh.
It's like down there.
Oh,
Fancy.
gnarly. What was your most painful tattoo? Probably your chest.
Yeah, probably my chest because it goes like directly on the sternum and then through
Yeah.
the nipples, and that fucking sucked.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Especially if
You
you
have your
don't.
nipples tattooed?
Just like barely, but yeah, it goes through. So my tattoo artist was like, kind of put me in a spot with it. He put the design on, you
Mhm.
know, and all the dudes ride Harleys at
Yeah.
the shop. And the other guy, Jonah, he was like, "So are you gonna give him a break on the nipples, or are you gonna go right through?" And I had just bought a Harley.
Oh
and
yeah.
my tattoo artist looks at me and he looks at him. He's like, "No, he has a big boy bike. He can handle it." I was like, "God damn it, dude!" Like, what?
I know Jonah.
I was like, I can't really stop you now, otherwise it looks stupid. So
Look like a just wussing out on it.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
don't
So I kind of just had to do it, but
respect.
I guess
I mean, all
Ouch.
tattoos, you just kind of do it.
tattoos
It
hurt.
hurts.
Though. People who say
Yeah.
tattoos don't hurt, nah,
Mine didn't
tattoos
hurt.
for sure.
My arm one didn't hurt, but my ankle one killed me. Or just right on my
Yeah, right on the bone hurts.
or
This
right
didn't
where
hurt
it's,
at all.
gets
That's
thin.
crazy.
Yeah,
Maybe I
I
just
think
have
my
a-
tattoos hurt. I think different tattoos hurt different
Different-
amounts for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they all hurt.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, definitely, because it's just needles repeatedly poking you over and over. It's such a weird feeling. Like
It's like
hard
burning and then scratching and then numb and then it repeats itself over.
It's such a weird
for like
feeling.
hours.
Yeah. It's hard to describe it like without actually feeling it. Like
Can we go to
You
a
guys-
tattoo
you guys
shop
un-
and you just pick one out of their book?
I don't know if that's a
'Cause
good
They
idea.
always have like books of their artwork.
Right.
So you should just be like, can you just copy that one?
and then you should get it on the back of your neck right here.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
get a
I'll
neck.
get a
I'll get
face
a back.
tattoo.
No, I'll get a back of the
Fuck
neck
yeah.
tattoo with you.
I'll just show up to my work and see how they react
They'd
with a
you'd
face
get
tattoo.
fired.
Yeah.
Or just cover it up with makeup.
Yeah, no, do
every
it.
single day.
Yeah, that kind of foundation costs a lot, but like it's worth it. My boss told me I'm not allowed to get a face tattoo, but I will.
Don't let your boss run your life, man.
She would just clown me for it. She
No.
wouldn't be mad. She'd just be like, Amy, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know about face tattoos, man. I mean, I don't judge people, but you gotta be real confident in what you're trying to do with your life to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna judge you heavily.
Most
So-
of the people I know with face tattoos, they're like either tattoo artists, piercers, or rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Which in that case, that's their like it's fine
Their
because of their
look.
profession.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
still just think like what you think about it isn't what everybody else thinks about
That
it.
is true.
Yeah.
So that perception is really important depending on what you're trying to do with your career or anything else.
Because people love just to judge books by covers.
Yeah,
Yep.
it just is what it is, man. And that can dictate how much money you make. It can dictate what kind of position you get promoted to or hired in. Like, it's not up to you to decide what other people perceive you as far as like things like that go. So just because you don't think it matters if you have a hand tattoo or something doesn't mean that other people don't.
Yeah.
And they will hold it against you. It doesn't matter if they say they're not going to or they're not like legally allowed. They definitely
But they will.
Yeah.
So,
Because if someone like didn't know who you were
right.
or anything, and they came up to you or like saw you on the street with just full arm tattoos, and you had your shirt unbuttoned a little bit, and you see your chest tattoos and your rings and stuff like that.
I get
they'd be
stopped
like,
at every airport every time.
Yeah, they'd be like,
Every time.
like, oh shit.
Ugh, that'd be so annoying.
Yeah, they always search me.
Yeah,
It's
just because you have tattoos.
wife says I look like a drug dealer, so they stop me though seriously every time I fly. We were in Barcelona flying back, and they like checked my stuff going through security, and then we're getting on the plane, like we're in the whatever in the hangar, and we're getting on the plane, and my wife goes on, and then they grab me by the arm and pull me away, and my wife's getting on the plane, and I'm like, dude, like. You keep us together, and they were like, no, you need to come with us. I'm like, come on, because my wife didn't know what was going on. She's just like getting ushered onto the plane in Spain, and I'm getting ushered off the plane. So anyways, they like take me back to this back room, and it's me and like 5 black people, and they check everything. Like they open up my laptop and they like swab that. They check like the fucking my waistband and everything, like take my shoes off and like whatever. They like search everything. And they're like, okay.
It's so crazy that they like pick you out of like millions of people.
Yeah. So the crazy part is, so they check me, and all these like, there's probably like 5 black dudes, and that was it. Just us 5, like 6 people. We land in New York, and you go and you like scan your passport and whatever, and they randomly selected me and the same 5 black people as being like threats. So we all had to be like separately
Done
interviewed,
again.
and we were standing in this line. And this other dude who had also been searched asked the security guard, and he was just laughing about it. Clearly, it happens to him all the time too. And he asked the security guard and goes, "So, at each airport, it's really randomly selected, like really?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, sure,
Definitely not.
Like,
Yeah, we
all the same people?
happened again.
yeah, out of the whatever 200 people, or I don't know how many people were on the plane,
Like,
but of all those people, it's
the
really
odds
the same.
are so low
Yeah,
that that's not possible. It's,
but yeah, that happens to me every time I fly, or
You just
if
wear
I
long
go,
sleeve shirts. Don't get
yeah,
it
if I
for-
go anywhere where something's expensive, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like shopping for.
Which is so
I had to buy a dishwasher.
stupid.
You know what I
Like,
mean? Like, and the people just look past me like I can't afford to buy one. or
Tattoos
something.
Tattoos are so
fucking
expensive.
I know,
Like you probably have I don't
More
even
than
know
a
how much.
dishwasher.
a lot more than a
Probably
dishwasher.
almost a car.
I have a
Okay.
lot. I don't know what the dollar amount is, but
A lot.
yeah. If you have anything other than really bad tattoos,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's expensive.
But your tattoos aren't bad. Like
no,
you have-
yeah, they're
you have
all
s-
definitely
professionally done.
right.
Like they all look good and like it's just stupid.
But like I said, that's just something to like keep in mind. The way
Yeah.
you dress, the way that you look, like people do judge you based on those things. So things
Yeah.
like tattoos that are permanent, I'm not saying you shouldn't get them, but like definitely think about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you kind of need some meaning behind it.
Well, they don't have to. I mean, they can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
But like for myself, I was the assistant manager at Hellsberg Diamonds looking like this.
Yeah.
Not quite as many tattoos, but I still had a lot.
Yeah.
And I could
Well,
just
'cause
wear
you
a
had-
suit.
Yeah.
And when I show up to the interview with a suit on,
You
nobody
look-
knows that I have any tattoos.
Exactly.
Nobody knows when I'm working. My, boss didn't find out about them until months later. She was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, you have a lot of them." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Doesn't affect anything, huh?"
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Like, wow, I can
Wow, I'm
work
a
and
normal
function
person.
like everybody else with
Right.
tattoos. Like
But when you got pink hair, or if you get tattoos like behind your ear, on your neck, or like
Mhm.
right on your wrist, or like the finger ones,
yeah.
you're not hiding that. Like
Yeah.
you can't really hide it. So
Then it's like, oh,
you got to be willing to own that.
Yeah, I
and
get
understand.
stared at for my hair all the time.
you
Yeah.
get a lot of compliments.
I get a
though.
lot of compliments, but I get a lot of backhanded compliments from older
Oh.
ladies, like asking me if I'm excited for it to wash out.
That was a weird one.
I was so annoyed. I was like, why are you asking me this? She goes, but it's almost Christmas. And I was like, yup, and
Yeah.
I'm going to have Christmas pictures taken with pink hair. Nobody's going to tell me I can't. Like, I am an adult.
I spent my own money on my hair.
You're like, yeah, like, I paid for it. Nobody bought it for me. Like, it was me. I sat in the salon chair.
Still, how much would it suck if you were more qualified for a job that got paid an extra $10 an hour and you didn't get it because of your hair?
I'd be pissed.
Right, but there's nothing you
And
can
I'd
do
be,
about
yeah.
it. You
I'd be like,
can't
I can
prove
dye
that-
my hair black.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Maybe.
you can't prove that the person interviewing you made that decision based on your hair.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it. So,
That's why
You-
you
But
wait
you-
till you're
you
already
kinda just
promoted
know.
to do it.
You kind of just know, like.
well, yeah, but that's all I'm saying is, like, you got to be aware of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so just try not to be irresponsible where it puts yourself in a position that, like,
I could.
holds you back when,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Especially young people, when you're 18 or 19 or whatever, and you're like, hey, I have the freedom to do this. It's like, yeah, but, you know, when you're 25 and you have kids now and, like, this promotion's important to you that you didn't think it would be,
Yeah.
like, that
Well,
decision could really suck. So,
I'm going to school for cosmetology anyways, so like this is normal.
well, and hair's
but-
not permanent anyway.
Yeah,
but you know what I
no.
mean.
Yeah.
Like all that type of stuff, piercings or anything, like whatever
Oh,
you're
yeah.
showing out there, people will judge you based on that. And sometimes the position in life that you're at that time, you are okay with people judging you in that way. But you may be in a different position later on. So things that are permanent,
Yeah.
like tattoos, are like, I get it that you don't care when you're 18 what people think about you, but you probably will in a few years. So
Yeah.
maybe start with tattoos that aren't on your hands. Like places that you can cover them is what I always suggest to
Yeah.
people.
Right.
And that's why you have yours like just.
Yeah, and my
below-
first
below
tattoos
your
were,
wrist.
you know, covered by short sleeve shirts,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. So it's eventually I got more, but even me, 5.5 years in business, if I needed to go get a job, a hand tattoo is not going to stop me at this point.
Yeah.
But I still don't have them yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been waiting to pull the trigger on it. So,
Just do
I'm-
it.
I'm
My dad
waiting.
has them. Just do it.
well, yeah, I mean, the main reason I haven't done my hands is, and now I finally figured out what I want, but like that is real estate that is really important.
Yeah.
On your hand, you know what I mean?
Well,
because
'cause
those
it's
are the
always out
tattoos
there.
everyone's going to look at all
Yup.
the time.
You want
So
them
you
to
don't
be
want to just put
good.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Because you're
wanna
not
be-
gonna be having gloves on all the time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll be wearing long sleeve shirts,
Yep.
which will cover everything.
Yeah,
but your
they're
hands.
the hands are going to be shown all the time. So
Hands
and
and
once
face.
they're tattooed, you can't get something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other spots on your body, it's like, well, there's always going to be more space. But
Yeah.
hands, you
hands
gotta
are
be-
very limited real estate area.
Yeah, so I'll get them eventually here, but
I'm just waiting to come into the shop. You just have hand
have them
tattoos.
blasted.
Hand
Yeah.
tats.
I'd be sick. I saw someone at work the other day and they had a fucking gun tattooed.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like,
Ooh.
why? Like it was.
That's
it was
a
like
threat.
it was like a
That's
revolver.
Yeah, that could
like this.
literally.
I was
Somebody
like,
could take that as a threat.
I was like, what? Why? There's some weird people that come into work. Very-
I've been dealing with it for almost 2 years. I
Oh, yeah.
know. There's a lot of weird
It's
people
fun.
in this town,
It's fun.
and our work is like the central spot for
Oh,
them.
yeah, it's the
somehow,
hub.
somehow.
Dude, and we live in Eau Claire. Think about like what the Goodwills and stuff look like in the cities.
Oh,
That'd be so much
yeah.
gnarly.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun time every time.
Yeah.
They're fast movers too. Let me tell you, when your boss tells you go follow them, they can bounce
Oh,
from
yeah.
one side of the store to the other.
Oh yeah.
I'm always out of breath following people.
I didn't know that they actually like did that in places.
We follow them,
Oh.
and I follow close. I'm good at it. I like get up real close to them and look at their stuff. And if they set something down, I'll grab it right away and put it in my little vest pocket, and then put it on me if I run out of room. Make it known that I'm following them, and then usually they just leave.
Good.
It makes my shifts go by faster when I do it.
It sounds fun.
Do you have any more questions for Chris?
I don't
You
know.
guys just don't know me that well, clearly.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the movie Lords of Dogtown? You like that one?
Feel about it? I guess any like skateboarding related movie, every time I'm like, Hollywood's making a grab. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's never like super genuine, but I thought that movie was cool. I saw it in theaters, you know, back whatever year that
When it
was.
came forever ago. Well,
Yeah.
not, like,
Whatever year that
yeah.
was. I did see it in theaters and it was cool. Yeah, I like that movie. I can't say I've seen it a bunch of times.
I've been thinking about that movie all day.
Well,
I don't know why. It's just when there's like a pool scene and it's just been like running in my mind on repeat.
Me and all the people my age grew up watching the movie Grind. Yeah, it's whatever. It's stupid. It's really funny though if you skate. It's basically like these couple kids, like they graduate high school at the very beginning of the movie. They're at like their graduation, and they decide to like they convince their one friend to spend his college funds to buy a van for them to try to follow this like pro skateboarding team around the country so they could like get noticed at demos and stuff. And then like stupid stuff happens. You know what I mean? But it's super quotable and really funny. And there's guest appearances from like Bam and stuff in it. It's dumb and the ratings were terrible, but it's
Might have
pretty
to check
funny.
it out.
Yeah, dude, I used to watch that every day when I was like 15.
Sounds pretty fun.
It's entertaining for sure. I think Tom Green's in it. Ryan Sheckler's in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any like final messages for
You got anything
or
to
anything?
say?
Any shout outs or
Shout outs?
yeah? You want to shout out anything?
I don't know. I guess stop by the shop, check out the podcast. I'm interested to see what you guys end up doing with this podcast because I'm still like a little confused about what exactly it's about or like what the purpose of it is. I mean, you guys are just like chatting and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Oh, just,
is there
We
like
get,
a
like-
direction like you're trying to go with it?
I mean, we're trying to like just blow up.
We're
you
just
know?
having fun with it and
Sure.
seeing where it goes.
Trying to blow up.
Just
I
trying
mean,
to
yeah,
blow up.
that too. But like right
Sick.
now, we're just.
That's
It's
our
just
main-
It's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
It gets us out of the house.
We do some
Yeah.
skits on the side. This is our main thing. We just
Sure.
kind of.
We've had like people, like known people in Eau Claire on it.
Who was on it?
Just like people
Well,
our
there was-
age, I
there was-
guess.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There was
Good
a
luck,
Good
Bear.
Luck
Trace.
Bear.
Trace, yeah.
Trace.
People I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
We had
Hi, my
Trace
Be
is a
Intelligent.
rapper. I don't know if you saw that or listened to that episode, but he.
I think I have heard his name before now that you say that.
Adam Tracy.
Adam
we had Mildly
Tracy.
Intelligent on their YouTube channel. I don't know how
Yeah.
many subscribers they have.
They got
Like
they have over
1,000
1,000.
something.
Yeah.
Get your dad on the podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
He
Do that too.
wants. Yeah.
He wants to?
I'm down with
Yeah,
that.
get him on.
Next
dude.
week.
Yeah.
Let's have him next week.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
got a bunch of followers and stuff on Instagram.
Oh, you don't need to tell me. He tells me every day.
Does he? He's like, look at how famous I am. His
He'll
stuff's
be like-
really good.
he'll be like,
It's so,
he'll
he
be like,
makes such
I have
sick stuff.
14,000. Don't know if you know, but I'm a little famous. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, I mean, his glass blowing is actually super.
There
It's
was
so
a point
sick.
where I had more followers than him.
And then
And
he
we
blew
had
up.
a race to 1,000 on my old account, and I like beat him, and then somehow his followers just like
blew up.
blew up.
Yeah, I don't know.
People like know too. They'll be like, "That this is your dad, isn't it?" And I'll be like,
I mean, probably
"Yo."
because he makes just sick
There's
shit.
been like, he's like posted like my senior picture when I
Yeah.
graduated and stuff, and then people are like, "Oh my god, that's Amy's dad," and like a bunch of people I know that like you would never expect them to like follow my dad. They do.
Yeah. Your dad's sick.
Just wait
Yeah.
till my kids are in high school. You know what I'm saying? By then, the podcast will be huge.
Oh, yeah. It's
All
like,
my little alien monster artwork that I
Hell
do. will be
yeah.
massive.
your dad's Chris Johnson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, I got
Be
recognized
Chris
at a
Johnson.
pawn shop the other day and by somebody from the podcast, like through the podcast.
Yeah.
That's been happening now, which is kind of
Mm.
weird.
Yeah, that
We
happens
have-
to
yeah.
us too.
Yeah,
They'll be
yeah.
like the Pootcast. Like they'll just bring it up in conversation, and I'll be
Yeah.
like, "That's me."
It's really weird when I haven't talked to them in a while
Yeah,
and they
they,
like
like,
know
know.
everything about me, and I'm like,
You're like, "Oh, you listen."
Yeah, dude, it's part of it. I was at the pawn shop and whatever. This dude just out of nowhere. I don't think I've ever met him or anything. He's just like, "You're the guy who has that local podcast, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I really like it." I'm like,
Thanks.
Thanks.
Or a different day, a guy came in, and he was super cool. But he came in and he was like, "Hey, I know this is kind of weird, but like, can I ask you some questions?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. What's up?" And he's like, "Well, I listen to your podcast, but I don't skate or anything. I just listen to the podcast." I was like, "That's tight." And then he had like a little notebook of questions and was asking me a bunch of different questions. But before asking, he would preface with stuff he already knew. You know what I mean? He's like, "So I know you've been to Japan and this, that, and whatever, but where's somewhere else that you've really enjoyed being or whatever?" And I'm like, you definitely listen
Like,
to all
it's
the episodes.
insane
Yeah, because it's
when
like
they know things.
so
Yeah.
I'm sitting back thinking like, okay, 5 episodes had been out at that time or whatever. I'm like, what specifically did I say during those 5 episodes that he
Yeah.
already is aware of and isn't aware of at this point? It's
Yeah.
crazy to think of, like, and people aren't listening to it like because of me. For a lot of them, they're listening because of whatever the individual guest
Yeah.
is, because
Yeah.
all these
Mhm.
people are really interesting to talk
Yeah.
to. But still, it's weird to think that all these people still have to inadvertently listen to me talk for, you know,
Yeah.
whatever 20 minutes of every episode.
Yeah.
Like, damn, you've heard my voice a lot. He actually said that too. He was in the story. He's like, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was you, but then I heard you. But then when you said hello, I recognized your voice, and I knew. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Okay.
It's kind
weird.
of creepy that you know me from my voice. Never
I mean,
seen my face,
it does
but
make sense if you listen
Yeah.
to somebody talk long enough, but that's
Mhm.
the first time anyone's ever said that to me.
That is weird.
Whoa.
You're like,
guess.
my voice.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was asking you questions, but I've also known you for.
I just love that I convinced you to do that YouTube channel
Yeah.
years and years and years ago, and here
And
you
then
are now doing this.
Yeah. That
It's
didn't
tight.
really. I didn't really take off with that because I
No.
just kind of. I don't know. I was just busy with stuff and.
Is that your
Still.
Marty McFly one?
No, I I had made a YouTube channel a while ago because he convinced me to. It was called I'm asking questions or something like that, and it was just me. I think I made one video,
I think
and it
just
was
the
like
one.
something about tacos, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna see if I
Either
can,
way, it was the premise or whatever was just like bringing up questions that people haven't asked and then asking for people to like say what they think about it in the comments, but like preface and talk about why you're asking this. Be like, I just want to know, why is it this way? And then have people respond. And I thought that would actually be kind of clever to do if you had a following to like get conversations going between different people. And yeah, you made the one and then never did it again. But either way, the fact that years later now he's doing something that's pretty related. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of cool.
because now I'm doing the podcast with
Mhm.
these people.
Yeah.
So
Bring it back, Marty.
if I
Bring back your Minecraft videos.
Yeah, I
I'm
missed
getting
those.
bored.
I need to upload
And
them.
streaming.
I haven't.
I think
streamed
your
in a while.
followers miss me.
Probably.
They miss
How do you get so many likes on your photos? That blows my mind. I
What do
looked
you
at it
mean?
the other day, and
The one that I did promoted, or the one that I did, or
I feel like in
posted with
general
you.
yours get like several hundred likes, don't they? Was
no,
it
just
the
that
that-
one because you gave me the free hat, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll just promote the podcast on Instagram. Like I did like the
Oh,
promote thing or whatever.
That's why.
And
Okay.
so, just to like get it out there more, I guess.
Sure. Well, I appreciate that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I looked at it. I'm like, how
Because I was
do
like,
you get so many likes and stuff on your
oh yeah,
photos?
because I got
I'm like, a lot of
520
people-
on that.
Yeah,
one.
I was like,
but
a lot of
that
people
was
care what
'cause-
Marty has to say. That's tight.
He's botting.
I was
Yeah,
Well, no,
they're all
that's-
fakes.
that's not like actual botting
No,
because it's
not.
through
Yeah, it
actual
just shows up as
Instagram.
ads or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people like would like it and click on
Uh-huh.
it and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Because there is it reached like 1,700 people, or no, 2,300 people, and
Jesus.
it had some traffic go to you. So
Yeah,
It
no,
shows,
that's
so.
tight. I just didn't understand.
yeah,
Because, like I said, I grew up after social media. Social media wasn't prevalent till I was in college.
Mhm.
So I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't understand why people care what high school kids have to say
yeah,
beyond like their immediate friends.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
maybe you're YouTube famous or something. But for the average high schooler kid that has 1,500 followers, there's not
Why?
1,500 people in your school. There's no way 1,500 people know who you are.
yeah.
Why the hell do they care what you have to say?
Mhm.
You have nothing to base it on.
Oh,
So I don't
true.
understand. As you get older, you're part of like certain demographics or whatever. Like you clearly have a different knowledge base than what other people do. So that's why they follow you, is they want to like learn stuff about your industry or whatever. That's how that works in my brain.
Yeah,
But if you're just a high school kid, unless I know you personally, why do I care what you have to say?
yeah.
Or anyone for that matter.
Mhm.
Like I said, not trying to be mean, but like
No, yeah, I get it.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Mhm.
You know. And then you see businesses that only have like 300 followers, and I'm like, do you just like not
Well, like-
use social media at all, or what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta hire somebody at some point that just like knows that shit to
yeah.
like
Just a social.
get me to
media.
25,000 followers, where all of a sudden I don't have to work anymore. I'm just selling
That'd be
shit
sick.
online all the time.
That's what I used to do that for my dad.
you?
I ran his Instagram for a while. I was the one I'd go through. I'd post. I'd like things.
That's how he's got so many followers. Then
No, that was more towards
It's
You
part
can
of
say
it.
it is. I did it for a while.
Yeah, he's killing it.
And you run our social media.
I do. I haven't posted the newest one yet, but I was at work when it came out.
How long does it take usually before you guys put episodes out after you record them?
That's a Marty
days.
question.
Well, okay.
Depends
So,
on Marty, yeah.
Depends on Marty.
okay.
and
Well, last
how
week
he's
I
feeling.
had strep throat, so I was bedridden, so I wasn't able to upload until like Thursday, and then the week before, I was just recovering from getting sick from the week before that. So I
been
just
like a
been sick.
3
So
month.
this episode will go up on Christmas Eve. So
Wild. Everyone's going to listen to us talk for Christmas.
yeah,
Got to put on the Yule log.
yeah, hell yeah,
But yeah, man, I'm excited for like what's coming. You know, the podcast, obviously, traveling a lot.
yeah.
Lots of
I'm
cool
excited.
people are going to be on the podcast, and it's been fun networking and
Plus-
like
Sorry.
it's been fun networking, getting to know all these different people and getting to understand their industries and how things work and stuff. I
Yeah.
think it's a really it's been really interesting and inspiring for myself to be a part of and listen to. But
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of good feedback, and I think the cool part about mine is that, you know, kind of anybody can listen to it and still find a lot of inspiration and cool things from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because each guest has a story that's kind of along the same general lines, different industries, but along the same like things, and it's really easy to connect with, which
Yeah.
is tight because I would have never thought I would connect with like a boudoir photographer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's cool that you can have these conversations and find out how similar you are,
Yeah.
and then it's honestly really interesting.
Yeah.
Like when I had an episode with a jeweler, and like,
Yeah.
I didn't know how you become how do you convince somebody to give you 20 grand to make them a custom diamond ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
where's the progression? You know what I mean?
Like, cause you don't just start.
Right. You
With
don't go to
jewelry.
school for it. Like you
Yeah.
don't get a degree. So like, how do you do that?
There's some like, is there a buy-in or something? Like,
Yeah. Or photographers, like how do you all of a sudden get on a stadium tour with like a famous band
yeah,
when you're 22 or however old
yeah,
Kyle
just
was?
taking pictures.
Yeah, but like how does that, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
really interesting to have those conversations and see. I mean, dude, one of the guys on season 1 was on Shark Tank
Yeah.
on ABC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
that's freaking
He was telling me about it. He's like, yeah, dude, I just got a call when I was driving. I was in my little Civic or whatever, and I just got a phone call. Like, what? Yeah, dude, it's nuts. It's really cool.
You got
So-
some crazy people on your podcast.
Yeah, it's gonna be. getting
I'm looking
really nuts.
forward to
Yeah.
what yours holds.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's as of the moment, it's still permanently going to be on the radio.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday at 7 on Converge 99.9, and you can listen to it on convergeradio.org, which is tight. You
That's
can
sick.
just like stream it, and I really encourage people to actually do that because
Yeah.
what people don't realize is I recorded it with the intent of being a radio show,
Yeah.
and when it's on the radio and when it's on convergeradio.org, it has the music selections.
Yeah.
And the guests introduce 3 songs and like say why that they want to play during their show.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to listen to because you discover new music. You really
Mhm.
get like a connection with the individual guest. But I can't have that on Apple Podcasts that way. It would be taken
Yeah.
down. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
part of the show just isn't there if you wait to listen to it. You have to listen to it when it's on the radio, or so it's on Wednesdays, it's on the radio, and then on Fridays at Northbound Coffee on Barstow Street, they play the explicit version with the songs
At
there,
1.
and they do half off drinks every 1 p.m. on Fridays. But those are the only opportunities to be able to listen to it with the song selections.
That's
Which I- like I
gives
said,
it,
I
which
think it's-
encourages people to go.
Yeah, I think it's
because you're playing the music at the party.
yeah. We had the
and-
podcast party.
yeah.
And I played all the song selections.
Yeah.
I made a playlist.
Which was so sick.
It's tight, dude. When you listen to people's like song selections,
Yeah, it's like
it makes the show like have a totally different feel to it.
because that one
And
the one
I prefer it that way.
Korean lady, she picked the ET.
Yeah, it was sick,
Like it was
man.
just some random songs. Like
Well, because she writes for like symphonies and
Yeah.
stuff, you know. But yeah, so I encourage people to listen in if they can during like those time frames. Plus,
yeah,
like they have the analytics for what's playing when people listen on the radio and all that. They
Yeah.
know how many listeners there are, whether it's online or whatever. And if my show is going to continue to be on there, which I get paid,
Yeah.
you know, from sponsors to have this show on the radio, so I do make money on it.
yeah.
If people want to support the podcast, listening to it on the radio is
Is
like a
how-
really easy way, because I don't do a Patreon or anything.
Yeah.
Like, and nothing against Patreons. I totally understand
Yeah.
why people do it, but I don't do that. So if you want to support the podcast, you can either A, buy things from my store, or B, just listen to it, give it reviews and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff.
And Patreon's easier for us because we don't have as big as a
different situation for sure. But yeah, so try to listen to it on that as it comes out. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of, everyone's like pretty much a totally different industry, and I'm working really hard to try to get some pretty big names on the podcast, like through different connections, and there's a lot of like ifs, ands, and maybes, but there are some bigger ones that'll come up this spring too.
Awesome.
So I'm already booked into season 3, but yeah, it's going to be big, man. Yeah,
Can't
10
wait.
episode seasons. So
Can't wait.
yeah.
So, those are your final messages?
Dude, I don't know. That's a tough one. Final messages. I do that kind of shit on my show.
Yeah.
But I think about it ahead of time, so I know what I'm going to say. I'm not, like put on the spot with wise words. Come on. No.
You're a wise man.
Yeah.
I'm older. That's it. That's the only thing. No, I don't know. I guess I would say, this was actually from season 1, episode 2, that Sarah had said, "You're an adult, so do whatever the fuck you want. It's your life. It's not anybody else's life. The consequences probably aren't that bad. Just take chances on the things that you want to do, learn from whatever mistakes you do make, but you don't want to like look back on it and regret that you didn't take any of those adventures." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, live your life. That's it.
Live your life. Final words from Chris Johnson. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. That's a good one.